Let's learn about how to use color to make things look more three-dimensional. It's all about how hard you press with what you're coloring with. This works best with color pencils or crayons. So I'm using a color pencil and I'm starting with my 3D shelf. The front side, I'm coloring a little darker, so I'm pressing a little harder with my color pencil. Then, when I move to the top part of the shelf, the other side, I'm not pressing as hard. I'm letting my pencil glide over the top so you can see a difference that the top is lighter and the front is darker. I did this in sections. You could do the whole front first and then go to the top, whatever works for you as you're coloring. The main idea is just to make sure that one side you're pressing a little harder to make it darker and the other side a little less to make it lighter. And that goes for any color you choose. You could even use how hard you're pressing to add details, like I'm going back to add texture to the wood grain in the shelf. Now, let's talk about when you're coloring things in like this tree. I'm starting at the top and coloring it in. I'm leaving a little white space because I want it to look like there's snow. But then when I move to the next section, that top part, I'm pressing harder with my color pencil to make the green darker. And then as I go towards the edge of that shape, I loosen my pressure and I'm not pressing as hard. We're doing this because each section, the top is tucked under the section in front of it. So that part has a little shadow cast over it. Now, let's move to something round, like the snowman. I'm going in with a darker color, in this case black, and I'm pressing really light because black is a dark color. But I'm going around the edge of the circle. So I'm shading the edge of the white shape to make it look more round. Each circle on my snowman, I'm doing this. I'm also coloring darker under the circle before it, just like the tree, to show that a little shadow is casting on that circle. It doesn't have to be a thick line, just along the edge. Then, once your objects are shaded, the objects are sitting on something, also casting a shadow. So I'm coloring under my snowman. I'm pressing a little harder because right under, closest to your object, is darkest. And then you can fan away, pressing a little lighter, and the shadow isn't as dark. Now, the shadow is not a specific shape. It is soft. If you ever look at your shadow on the ground, it doesn't have a hard outline around it. So if you just color and shade a little space under your object, we get the idea that it's 3D without having a specific shape. Same goes for my gingerbread house here. I'm pressing a little harder because there's already dark brown on the shelf. I'm going in with black. This shadow is a little bigger because my gingerbread house is a little bigger. And my snow globe is a little hard because it's right on the edge there. So I'm just trying my best to add a dark little shadow there as well. Like I said, as long as you get something under there, we get the idea. If you want to color something solid that's rounded, like our snow globe base, something that you could do is color it all one color first, pressing light. So not much pressure on your pencil or your crayon, nice and even. And then on the very edge, kind of like our snowman, you're pressing harder using the same color, but it appears to be darker. So darker on the edges there plays a trick on our eye to tell us that that shape is going around in space and it's making it look rounded. Now let's look at how to shade a 3D house like our gingerbread house, or this works for presents too. Color the front, I'm pressing light, I'm coloring it all in nice and even, never mind the details for now. And then the second side that's peeking out, I'm pressing a little harder with my color pencil, making the color darker. So that's telling us that it goes around the corner and that side is a little darker. So those are the main tips of how to use color to make your objects look more 3D.